Hello chess family, it's me, National Master Jesse James, and today we're going over a fun game in the Scandinavian. In this game, I'm going to show the idea about castling opposite sides, the basic strategies, and well, how to have fun attacking the Scandy. Alright, well let's go ahead and get to it. Here we go, I was playing the white side of this against a FIDE master rated 2549, and well, we start off with e4. My opponent went d5, the Scandinavian. Of course, the best move here is to take. We take so that it's going to go ahead and bring the queen out too early and we can get some free tempos or free moves by attacking her. And here we go ahead and play knight c3, develop with the threat. Here, black went ahead and chose a very good solid line, queen to d6. There's two main moves here, which is queen to d6 and queen to a5. In my opinion, the queen a5 lines are much more aggressive, and queen d6 are a lot more solid. So here my opponent's saying, I'm going to play a good game of chess right here, queen to d6. And these games can be very hard to play because these games can turn into pawn structures of the Caro Con, which is a very, very strong opening. So here, well, I'm going to get a little too aggressive and castle queenside to create some winning chances and some attacking ideas. Here, let's go ahead and control the center. Pawn to d4. Knight to f6. And here I went ahead and played knight to f3. A move I do like and also dislike. I usually do not like it whenever they play the bishop over to g4 here for the pin. But here there's some very nice ideas about playing h3. Bishop h5. And then g4. And here my idea is really just to push the pawns forward and go for a kingside attack. And someone might be asking, what happens if bishop takes on f3, queen takes? This is another way to play, but here they cannot take the pawn on d4 here because queen takes on b7 will be very annoying for them. So in this game, lucky for me, my opponent did not play the bishop to g4, and well, went ahead and played pawn c6. And this is a very important move. Typically in the Scandinavians, just like in the Caro, we're trying to control the d5 square, at least for black, because, well, if white is able to play d5 after something like knight c6, white gets very good attacking chances. So here we get the pinchers or the claws. Pawn e6 in the future will get played to really control this d5 square. This is very important for white and black. And, well, here I went ahead and played knight e5. And many people won't understand this move because, well, a lot of people are thinking, do not move the same piece twice. The idea here is actually you want to play bishop to f4. But here, well, if you do play bishop f4, they'll just take, right? So a lot of people play the idea of g3. This is not the best. Here, it's already been proven that white does not get any advantage, even though you get your free tempo of bishop f4. So do you see the idea now? The idea of playing knight to e5 is to play this very nice idea of bishop f4. In fact, right now we're even threatening to win a rook here with knight g6. The bishop will attack the queen, and the knight will defend the bishop, and the knight will attack the rook, just winning. So here black went ahead and played bishop e6. This is high class theory right here. Again, black is trying to control this d5 square right here, and maybe even sometimes play bishop to d5 here. Well, that's okay. I already have my idea. Here we go, bishop f4, and now I'm threatening to win that piece, like I said. Knight g6 for a nice discovery against the queen. Of course, black is not going to allow that. Queen back to d8. Maybe not the best move. I think the main move here to play is actually something like queen b4, getting a free tempo by attacking the b2 pawn. But that's okay. Queen d8 got played, and here I went ahead and played bishop to d3. The idea here is very simple. I'm just bringing out all my pieces and seeing about which way I want to castle. At this point, I really haven't determined yet if I'm going to go kingside castling or queenside castling. And for those of you looking and saying, hey, is this just a free pawn? It is a free pawn, but you have to be very careful. In fact, the computer says if you take this pawn, it's still about equal. You're not even an extra pawn up because white gets such good development here. Queen takes on d4, queen to d2 to defend, and, well, I guess black has lots of moves here, but I'm just aiming for compensation. I'll probably castle queenside, and the open d file will hopefully help me out for the attack. Like I said, computer's giving this roughly about equal, so I'm quite okay with this position. Back to the game. My opponent did not like this idea and went ahead and just played g6, another very common idea. And when they played g6, I'm very happy because now, well, I'm going to be going queenside for sure now. Because, well, I'm going to have the idea of queen to d2, and the idea is to trade off this bishop for this bishop. Just know whenever people fianchetto, the bishop becomes much more than the 3 points that it was before. Typically, it'll change to about 4 or 5 points because it's a very good attacking piece and a very good defending piece for your king, because the dark squares around it will become weak. So, queen to d2, I'm getting ready for the attack. Bishop g7 gets played, and here we go, castle queenside. This makes the game very unbalanced, which means we could play for a win. If you want to win your chess games, you have to create an imbalance in the position. If you guys are playing the same thing, well, it's hard to create something different whenever you have the same ideas. So here by castling queenside, I'm saying it's game on. Let's go ahead and play for a win. Here, black went ahead and played knight b to d7. Makes sense. He is definitely getting a little bit worried about the attacking chances. But that's okay for me. Opening the knight trade here will only help me open up the d file. So here we go. Bishop h6. I'm already starting my kingside assault. This idea is planned to get rid of this strong bishop, and also hopefully if they do castle, my h4, h5 idea, which we'll go into it in a little bit later. Black went ahead and castle. All right, it's game on. And here we go. We're going to go for my idea, pawn to h4. What's the idea here? Very simple. The idea is to play pawn h5, trade off, and then the queen can come to h6 with check because now the rook is going to be defending. And although this is a very simple idea, it's a very strong one. And black does need to combat this idea. Here, black did not play the best, so here I get a very strong attack. Here, knight takes on e5. Awesome. Remember I said I want open files? Well, whenever they make trades, they're going to give me exactly that. Pawn takes back, of course. Knight to g4 attacking my bishop, but this was for the wrong tempo. All right, it's white to move. What do you play here? I want you to calculate at least 3 or 4 moves so you can get an advantage here and continue the attack. At this point, I did miss the best continuation, but I did get a very good game. Okay, if you guys haven't already, go ahead and give us that like and subscribe. Remember, liking this video is going to show this more chess player and help grow the channel. All right, were you able to calculate a few moves ahead? Here, I think most people found the first move. Bishop takes g7, king takes g7, but here was the hard move to find. Here at this point, you realize the e5 pawn is unprotected. So here I did play the second best move of queen to f4. The queen comes out, puts pressure on the knight, and also defends the e5 pawn. But this was not the best. Believe it or not, it was h5. This is exactly what my plan was. I guess I got a little too scared here of losing a pawn. And, well, they're more than welcome to take the pawn as it won't really help them. After h takes on g6, now I have queen h6 check here. And here they're more than welcome to take on d3 check. Take back with the pawn here, do not trade queens. And here white is doing well, and black is definitely in a pickle here. Because if they take back, either way, I'm going to be winning a pawn or at least getting attack. At this point, I have a 3-point advantage, meaning I'm basically up an extra piece here. Like I said, this was a little bit hard, so hopefully it took some time to take a look at this. As I said in the game, I did not play the best continuation. I played the second best move, which was, I played the second best move here, which was queen to f4. Not a bad move, but there was definitely better. Here, black plays a good move here too, queen to a5, putting pressure on a2 and the e5 square. And here, well, what's the best decision here? I will not miss the best idea twice. Here, I'm going to go ahead and create the kingside attack. Do not worry if you're going to lose some material here. Just know that you have to keep attacking. Whenever it's opposite side castling, you got to push your pawns forward, and then you're going to open up lines, and whoever gets to attack first usually wins. So do not worry about these pawns as much. Just try to create the attack. Here I did go ahead and play rook over to e1 real quick. Now, a2 and e5 are both pawns we're worried about, but e5 is a little bit different because queen takes on e5 can go ahead and let them look to make a queen trade, which I did not want. And, well, a2 looks very scary, but here, well, they would get, the attack is not going to be that good. So after rook he1, they did go ahead and just play h5. They saw the idea. If they did take on a2 with bishop takes, I'm just going to ignore them. And, well, we could just take on g4 here. There's nothing happening over here just yet. So h5 got played, and now we're going to go ahead and open up the king side. Pawn to f3 attacking the knight. The knight has no good squares to move to. It went ahead and jumped back to h6. And now, remember, do not worry about your pawns. Worry about opening up lines. g4 gets played. And if they take, we're going to go ahead and keep opening up files. I mean, at this point, they're almost forced to take. The knight really can't go to a good square on f5. And, well, if they do not take, then we will take. And this will open up the g file. Pawn takes on g4. Should we take back? You're more than welcome to, but the best move is to play h5, open up the king. And believe it or not, they cannot take back or this will be losing. You can see here that my attack is pretty much full on, and unfortunately for black, they did not create enough counterplay for this. Here they played rook a to d8. Notice if they do take over here on h5, this is losing immediately with a checkmate over here. Here we're going to go ahead and play queen g5 check, king over to h8, queen h6 check, king g8, and queen to h7. Not a good way to end the game. So black went ahead and played rook a to d8. And, well, maybe something better was like rook f to d8, so maybe you can have some escape squares. The game ends pretty fast now. Here I went ahead and played queen to g5. Simple idea. I want to take on g6, and, well, they can't really take back, or else I'm just going to win on g6 with the bishop helping me out. And here, unfortunately for my opponent, they blundered, and this will typically happen in tough positions, right? Oh, I'm sorry. The queen is also putting pressure on e7 here. So, well, they went ahead and made this terrible move of pawn takes on f3. Pawn takes on g6. Now, pawn takes over here on f7 is being threatened, and this is going to open up the king and some checkmate ideas. And, well, they played f6 here, and it's white to move and win. What do you play here? All right, hopefully you push pause to try to figure it out. Whenever you're playing your chess games, always look for forced moves. Look for the weaknesses. We have one knight that looks pretty weak, an undefended bishop, an undefended queen. Hopefully you guys spotted this simple idea. It was just pawn takes in check here, and we're going to win the queen here on a5. After pawn takes back, queen took, and, well, my opponent can pretty much throw in the towel. He did play bishop f5 and then immediately resigned as, well, I guess it took him a few seconds here to realize that this is just a completely losing position. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this. This was a very nice game demonstrating the ideas of what to do against the Scandinavian. If you want to create winning chances, think about castling queenside. Remember this nice little idea playing knight e5 for the idea playing bishop to f4. If your opponent fianchettos, go ahead and think about playing the idea of queen to d2 and trading off the bishop. And then, of course, use your pawn storm to create the attack as soon as possible. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you in the next video.